In today's video, we're going to be analyzing the home buying situation of a young couple in East and West Sacramento, California. They lost most of their money during COVID, and even now, even though their low savings are very low and they have little for a down payment, they really think they should buy a house. According to them, they don't really care about timing the market, so it's perfect. They just want to get into something. So let's dig into their email and really focus on what the mistakes are here, what are they doing right, and just try to everyone learn from their situation. So we're going to eliminate the non-important stuff. And the reason why we're doing this, and I don't want you to modify your emails in the future if you guys have an email from me. We're doing this because I want to help you guys really focus on what's important here. And a lot of things, we think things are important, but they really aren't. So let's get into it. Hi, Javi. I'd love to hear your thoughts on if we can afford to buy a home. So remove that. We used to have $40,000 saved up for a down payment, but life happens and COVID happened. We got laid off, etc. And now we're back at zero. So we're going to just erase all this. We're going to leave that. If anything, it's made us want to buy a home and put down roots more. We'd love to buy a home closer to $400K, but right now our budget is realistically $300,000 to $350,000. But even with no real savings, I know you're going to say no, LOL. Wait until you save more. We have no problem waiting, but we want to get a home before rates go down. Not because we're timing the market necessarily, but if a house stays on the market a little too long right now, that might be the leverage we need to get a home we like and we can afford. If rates are priced lower more, we might not have these same opportunities. I think it's important to highlight a few things here. No real savings. You're already kind of expecting where I'm going, so I'm just going to remove this. Wait until you save more. We have no problem waiting, but we want to get a home before the rates go down. Not because we're timing the market, but if a house, everything highlighted in the green, it sounds like you're talking with someone. It sounds like somebody's in your ear. Let me know if it sounds like a sales pitch or not. Hey, you should get in a home before rates go down. If a house stays on the market too long, that's the perfect leverage you need to get a home that you like and you can afford. If rates and prices lower more, you guys aren't going to have those same opportunities. That sounds like somebody's pitching you something, right? Let's read the revised email now. Hi, Javi. We used to have $40,000 saved up. We're back at zero. If anything, it's made us want to buy a home and put down roots more. Our budget is realistically $300,000 to $350K, but even with no real savings, we want to get a home before rates go down. If a home stays in the market a little too long right now, that might be the leverage we need to get a home we like and afford. If prices lower more, we might not have these same opportunities. Okay. Now, before we really break down the numbers, because we are going to do that, we're going to really get into that. Let's look at something first. Now, I'm not here to judge your mindset. You know, everyone, this is your journey. And if you feel strongly about owning a home instead of renting a home, that's your prerogative. You know, at the end of the day, regardless of what I say or anyone else says, just like you said in this email, you're going to have a desire to do something. You're going to go for it. Good. But the only thing that I would really caution you with, a lot of times, there's three parts of buying a house. Let's just call it A, B, and C. Okay, so there's A, B, and there's C. Most of the time what happens is A is when you decide, you get the idea in your head that you want to buy a home. That's a light bulb. C is when you get the keys. So you officially get the keys. And B, that looks like a baby with one arm and one leg. B is going to be essentially when you make that step that's going to put you in what I call the tornado. Okay, it could be you walk into an open house. It could be you decide to go on Zillow and say call agent. It could say, hey, I'm gonna finally call the agent or the lender. I'm gonna get the consultation scheduled. It's something where you start bringing external forces that really push you into something. And what happens here is by the time you get to B, maybe you're not as ready as you think you are, but a lot of people end up buying a house unless there's a really strong force that stops it. Like you literally can't qualify for a house, for the banking system doesn't allow it. And a lot of people, when it comes time to researching, they spend all their time focusing on this right here, and they spend almost little time focusing on this right here. So most of their time and energy goes into learning what happens after you get into the tornado, when you're under contract, when you're negotiating deals, what you're doing during the inspection, how to find the best house, how to find the best deal, etc. But the amount of preparation that it takes from A and B is only like a sliver. I think honestly it should be the other way around. You should be spending most of your time and energy focusing on the preparation phase here, because by the time you get into this tornado, you're dealing with external forces, right? And then if you have a much more solid foundation where you have your savings ready, you have a really clear idea of where you need your budget to be, you have like all these like investments in place so that way your house isn't your only investment, you're going to be in a much better position. But the problem with A to B is you have no help there. And a lot of realtors will not help you get to that because literally their job is to help you guide from B to C. And a lot of times they end up being the tornado themselves. So I'm telling you this because it seems like you're really excited with the idea of owning a house, but you're really discarding the amount of work needed to prepare to buy a house. This could be a very dangerous path for you because you're going to get yourself a house and you're going to feel very fulfilled spiritually. Your soul's going to be happy, but you're going to soon find that financial dread of like, holy crap, I bought a little bit above my means. Holy crap, I don't have any savings left. And that's just a sense of dread and pain that I don't wish on anybody. So I'm going to have to really ask you to take a step back. And don't worry necessarily about the goal of buying a home right now, but worry about your future self having to deal with a situation where you won't be able to afford your mortgage. And that should scare you enough to kind of snap you out of it. Because listen, you're not in a bad spot. Let's look into your financials here. So your net monthly is about $76.13. Your gross is $10,166. We have no loans, no debt. That's pretty sweet. Let's highlight that. Sometimes we use our credit card, but we don't carry a balance. Very sweet. You guys have a good credit score. We currently don't pay for childcare. We're blessed to have a family. That's a very good situation. We have about $4,000 in savings total. We also have about $16,000 in investments, $10K, which we plan on using towards a home. We should be able to save about $2K a month. We currently pay about $19.52. So you're making pretty decent money. Here I have this is my Home Buyer HQ where I have all my calculators and whatnot, which I've completely revamped. So if you're interested in this, links in the description. But we can just plug in your numbers here into the budget breakdown and we can really see where you go. So just to get a visual here, using a 50-30-20 budget model, you have about $3,800 for your needs. And you have approximately, if you're following this model, the ability to save up to $2K a month in savings, which I think you did mention here. $2K a month around there. Okay. So it's about right. You're in there in that position. And it looks like you could afford, if you're really pushing it, up to $26,000 to $3,000 around there. But we'll figure out right now if it's doable in Sacramento or not. But I mean, you're in a pretty blessed position where you have the ability to save $2K a month and you have the flexibility of like having a good situation, right? And imagine if you were to put yourself in a spot where, let's say, the dangerous part that worries me about you is even though I don't know what your debts are, but even if you qualify, you can qualify up to $4,500 in some situations. I'm afraid you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, sweet, let's go get the house of our dreams, because you're making a decision based off of emotion and you're like, yeah, I want to go for it. I want to go get myself the house of my dreams. But you really need to kind of reanalyze and say, maybe I should be, I'm not telling you to go crazy like a saint and go to 25%, but really just considering something in the middle is probably going to put you in a much better position if you really extend things. I'm telling you, you're paying $2,000 a month of rent right now. You haven't really felt the squeeze of a high mortgage payment. You don't want to put yourself in a position where it's going to just lock you up completely. Looking back here, going to our cash to close calculator, I think you really need to focus on your savings situation. You are just nowhere near ready, and you need to take a step back and really analyze what's happening here. Because yes, if you go talk to a lender or realtor right now, I'm sure there's down payment assistance programs that are going to put you in a higher interest rate position, but you're just not ready. Like, don't do it to yourself. Please don't go buy with no savings in the bank. Let's figure out how much you need to buy. So your budget, I think it was $350. Okay. So even if you're doing a 5% conventional loan, your survival number, I don't know, let's say it's about $4,000 to live. Oh, actually we can go back here. What was your breakdown? $3,800 was your needs. So let's say, yeah, $4,000 around there. So let's say you want to save, I don't know, 3 months. You're probably in a high tax insurance state or California. I'm assuming they have high taxes, right? Let's just do average. I'm not too sure. So, I mean, I'm not asking you to have a massive amount in your emergency fund. I'm asking you to have something. And just right here with what I calculated, you want $12K in there. You want that to be your first one. Including closing costs and everything. I'm not sure if your city and state has a good situation where the seller can pay for your closing costs. I like to just tell people save for the closing costs anyways. Just even if you don't end up using it's pretty sweet. But with you only having, I think you said $2,000. Let me check. You told me you had $4,000 in savings, and yes, you did say you're planning on using your retirement. But take a step back here. Let's leave that. Let that retirement work. Let's not dig into it too much. even if you pull that out, you're still not in a perfect position, right? So even if you want to, let's say you want to fight me, you're like, all right, Javier, just let's save up 2 months, do something. Don't just start with zero. Even if it's 2 months, then it does go down a little bit lower to 37,600. If the seller's paying your closing costs, maybe you don't need that, but just do yourself the favor and do that, okay? So right now, I mean, you're pretty far off from that. If you're saving $2,000 a month, let me calculate that real quick. You're still 16 months out. Let's say you find a situation where the seller's paying your closing cost. So let's remove $10,000 basically from the top. So if it's $10,000, that means we'll do $23,000 left. So even then, you're still about 6 months out. Okay. So if you're in an absolute hurry and you have to do this, save 2 months, have the seller pay your closing costs. That's still going to require about 6 months of you saving. If you are willing to be a little bit more patient, I would really like to see that go to 3 months reserves. And I would really just make sure you push yourself a little more to save. Let me just even check if it's possible on Zillow to even get something that cheap in Sacramento. I have to be honest, I've never been to Sacramento. I probably will never be there as well. So don't expect me to head over there. Let's do, not to say there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have any interest in going. Yeah, dude, there's plenty of houses. Are they going to be in the best areas? No. But you can be a homeowner under 350. If you can push it maybe a little bit more, fine. Looks like you can do 370, 360. So it's very doable. You have options. You just don't, like, I'm wondering, making these videos, are people going to listen, or what's going to happen here? But I've been burned in the past. I've made bad decisions in the past. I've seen people make bad decisions in the past. I just please don't play yourself. Don't go crazy. Don't go get yourself in a situation where you're going to be in financial trouble. Please. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any advice for her? Thank you for two sponsors of this video. We have our homeandmoney.com/Javier. It's a great website where you can connect with the agent referral anywhere in the country. They're really top notch. If you're looking for an agent, you should really consider them, even if it's like for a second or third agent. And of course, if you want access to my home buyer tools, basically it has a bunch of tools to help you from that A to B, to help you really get prepared and get ready and understand your situation a little better. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. You guys have a good one.